Council President Middlebrooks.
Here.
Council Pro Tem Driver. Here. Councilmember Schultz.
Here.
Councilmember Smith.
Present.
Councilmember Lovell. Present. Councilmember Murphy.
Present.
Councilmember McClinton.
Here.
If y'all will please stand while the clerk gives the invocation, and Calton Nichols will lead us with the pledge.
Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Y'all may notice another young man sitting in the president's seat tonight. This is Calton Nichols. He recently paged for Senator April Weaver down in Montgomery. He's learning more and more about government and wanting to learn about the local government. So he came tonight and met with the mayor back in his office and got to meet all the city council members back there as well and introduced himself. So Calton, tell us a little bit about yourself and who's here with you tonight.
I'm 14 and I go to Bumpus Middle School. My mom, Lindsay Hanson's here. My granddaddy, Jimmy Calton, is here. My stepdad, Chad Hanson, is here. And my dad, Chad Nichols, is here. Thank everyone for the opportunity to be here.
It's been a pleasure getting to know Calton. I've known them for a long time, actually, but I've known his dad and mom for a long time, so I hadn't really talked to Calton a whole lot, but he's a fine young man. Y'all have a lot to be proud of, along with his brother Jackson, I know. Heck, he's as the mayor said, he's going to be president one day, so pay attention. PJ, if we can get a quick picture with him, please.
Good job, man. Good job, man.
Does he get the check that comes with it?
Good stuff.
Calton, is this your phone, buddy? Had a little cheat sheet right there, so. You're welcome. Okay, members should have received the agenda. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Mr. President, I make a motion that we adopt the agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? We have the agenda. Mr. Mayor, I will turn it over to you, sir.
We've got one proclamation for the February American Heart Association. I'd like to ask Ms. Hoover Teen, 26, Grier Feldman, and Ms. Hoover, 26, Allie Mims, to come forward. And is Joshua Till here? Come on down. Come on down, Joshua.
Whereas heart disease remains the leading cause of death in the United States and affects millions of Americans each year, including residents of the city of Hoover, and whereas the American Heart Association is a trusted leader in the fight against heart disease and stroke through research, education, advocacy, and community outreach. And whereas the American Heart Association works to increase awareness of the warning signs of heart attack and stroke, promote healthier lifestyles, and encourage preventative measures such as proper nutrition, physical activity, and regular health screenings. And whereas American Heart Month, observed each February, provides an opportunity to raise awareness about cardiovascular health and to encourage individuals, families, workplaces, and communities to take action to reduce the risk factors associated with heart disease and stroke. And whereas the City of Hoover is committed to supporting initiatives that improve the health, wellness, and quality of its residents. Now, therefore, we, Nicholas C. Derzis, Mayor, and Casey Middlebrooks, City Council President, on behalf of the City Council of the City of Hoover, Alabama, do hereby proclaim the month of February as American Heart Month in the City of Hoover and commend the American Heart Association for its continued dedication to saving lives and improving heart health for all. Be it further proclaimed that the citizens of Hoover are encouraged to learn more about heart health and take steps to lead healthier lives. Presented this 26th day of January, year of our Lord, 2026.
Who's going to go first? Sure.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Grier Feldman. I currently serve as Miss Hoover's teen. So as many of you may know, February is Heart Health Month. And in honor of that, the Hoover Police and Fire Department are going to go head-to-head in a, may I say, friendly competition. And the winner of that, the winner raises the most money, and the loser has to do the number of push-ups equal to the dollar amount raised. So $1 donated is 1 push-up. This contest will last until February 21st, and then Mayor Derzis and I will announce the winner on February 27th. You can donate. I know I passed around a couple of sheets. You can scan the QR code to go to the Spot Fund. You can also donate to my Venmo at Grier-Feldman. We made a video on social media before, so you can go to my Instagram at Miss Hoover's Teen. Make sure you're following to view that. And you can also see my Spot Fund link at the bottom. Make sure when you're donating that you comment police or fire so that we know which team you're cheering for. Thank you so much.
Hey y'all, I'm Allie Mims. I'm Miss Hoover, and you know what? There's a podium right here, but the microphone should go here for me to look at you guys, so I'm just gonna do this. So I'm Miss Hoover, and I'll compete for the title of Miss Alabama in June. And I know you guys are probably used to hearing me talk about the Joyful Noise Foundation or the Miss America organization, but today I'm getting to talk about something that is also really important to me that I do not usually get to talk about. So as a young woman, I advocate for the American Heart Association because heart disease absolutely does not discriminate. Heart disease is one of the leading causes of death in women in the United States, and that is something that not a lot of people realize. And so through advocacy and awareness and encouraging prevention, I hope to be just a small part of saving lives and encouraging heart health in the women around us, starting now. So there are a few ways that I've already been able to help advocate for the American Heart Association. I have the Pretty Hearts coloring book that is on Amazon. And I know that a lot of you think that a coloring book does not cater to you, and it doesn't, and that's fine. But I do believe that advocacy and raising awareness for heart heart health should start in our K through 5 classrooms because it is something that unfortunately is hidden in plain sight and a lot of people don't catch it early on. So as Ms. Hoover, I'm able to go into schools and talk to kids about having heart health. I was able to have the hashtag Pretty Hearts Day last year where girls ages 7 through 13 came. We had a tea party. They wore pretty heart shirts. We did exercises. I taught them songs to sing in their head when doing CPR, which is actually something that I learned when I was CPR certified through the Hoover CPR training program, which was really cool. So that was a really great day because not only was I able to teach young girls how to start taking care of their heart at such a young age, I was able to raise over $5,000 for the American Heart Association. And so it's really meaningful to me that I have been able to advocate for something that, again, is unfortunately hidden in plain sight. And also, I have the Miss Joyful Heart pageant this year in February at the Spain Park Performing Arts Center. We actually have the 3rd annual Miss Joyful Heart pageant, which is for special needs women of any age across the state of Alabama, but also a part of the proceeds raised will go toward the American Heart Association and help send me off to Miss Alabama in June. So thanks so much for giving me and my teen Grier the opportunity to talk to you guys. Again, take care of your heart, and it's something that's so important that I am so glad that I get to advocate for. So thanks for letting us come and talk today.
I can't tell them. Thanks for coming. Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all. Thank you. Can I make one other comment, too? Just very, very fortunate that we did not have the winter wonderland like we possibly expected at the beginning of the week. But I do want to thank staff for meeting all week and getting ready and having things set over the weekend and even this morning if there were issues. So again, glad we didn't, but we were certainly prepared. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to recognize a few guests we have. It's always great to see Joe Rives, former council member. Representative Mike Schultz here with us tonight. Always good to see you as well. And we have 2 former school board presidents and 1 current. So the current, Alan Paquette, Craig Kelley in the back, and Mr. Kermit Kendrick over here. So continuing to give back, always appreciated. Now, we did not have anyone sign up for public comments, but at this time I will entertain anyone that wanted to get up and speak. Is there anybody that has any comments they have? Very well. We met on Thursday night to go over, at the work session, we went over the agenda. We have all these items, mainly a bunch of service agreements on the consent agenda. Is there any item that the council wants pulled off the consent agenda?
Mr. President, I would like to bring the payment of the bills to the regular agenda.
Payment of the bills. Mr. City Attorney, if you will leave the payment of the bills off. Anyone else? Any other item? Any member of the public have an item they would like to see pulled off? Very well, Mr. Attorney, if you'll read the consent agenda minus the payment of bills.
Minutes, December 29, 2025. January 8, 2026, and January 12, 2026. Resolution number 87, 2026, a resolution rescheduling regular work sessions and meetings of the Hoover City Council. Resolution number 87, 2126, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a service agreement with the Hoover Bells. Resolution number 87, 2226, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a service agreement with the Hoover City Schools Foundation, Incorporated. Resolution number 87, 2326, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a service agreement with Hoover Helps. Resolution 87, 2426, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a service agreement with the Hoover Historical Society. Resolution 87, 2526, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a service agreement with the Hoover Service Club, Incorporated. Resolution 87, 2626, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a service agreement with the Robert O. Finley Character Foundation. Resolution 87, 2726, a resolution amending the budget for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2026 for the police department. Resolution 872826, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a service agreement with Alabama Wildlife Center Incorporated to provide consultation for wildlife emergencies, care for wild birds, wildlife, and low-risk native mammals. Resolution 872926, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a service agreement with Crime Stoppers of Metro Alabama Incorporated. Resolution 873026, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a service agreement with the Humane Society of Shelby County to provide services for the humane care and disposal of animals. Resolution number 873126, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a service agreement with One Place Metro Alabama Family Justice Center to provide services to victims and survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault in the city of Hoover, Alabama. Resolution number 873226, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a service agreement with the Prescott House to provide services to children of the city of Hoover, Alabama, who are victims of physical and sexual abuse, severely neglected children, and children who have witnessed a violent crime. Resolution number 873326, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a service agreement with the Bessemer Cutoff Advocacy Center, DBA, the Clay House Children's Center to provide services to the children of the city of Hoover who are victims of physical and sexual abuse. Resolution 873426, a resolution appointing lead legal analyst and the assistant legal analyst for the city of Hoover, Alabama. Resolution number 873526, a resolution appointing the assistant municipal judge for the city of Hoover, Alabama. Resolution number 873626, a resolution appointing the lead public defender and assistant public defender for the city of Hoover, Alabama.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as read minus the payment of the bills.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. The consent agenda has passed. At this time, I will ask everyone here that was appointed with the courts, do y'all mind coming down and getting a picture real quick? That'll be Lee Barnes as Assistant Municipal Judge, the lead public defender and assistant public defender, Waukesha Hazard and Benjamin Preston, and Judge Patelis and Kermit Kendrick as the legal analyst.
I got to take a picture with this guy with one arm right here.
Thank you, guys.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, look, I'm glad you're doing better.
Okay, we'll move, well, before we move on to the regular agenda with payment of the bills, do I have a motion to accept the payment of the bills?
Mr. President, I make a motion that we accept the payment of the bills.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Councilor Smith?
Mr. President, I wanted to bring up something that I believe most of us, if not all of us up here know, and I don't bring this up to belittle the finance department at all. They've had to try to find a way to deal with issues. I don't know if it began in the last term or the term prior to that, but the bills that we've been voting on have already been paid by the time we vote on them. And the reason that that has occurred is because the city was receiving a number of late payment notices, and I believe that cost the city additional funds because of that. I have asked to meet with finance, Ms. Lopez and someone of her picking within the department to see if we can find a happy median to where we're doing anything more than just reviewing the bills. Because in my mind, we're not voting to pay the bills, we're really voting to review the bills. It would be nice to be able to get back to the old days where we're actually voting to pay the bills themselves. I remember days sitting in the back with Jack Wright, and he would be thumbing through things. Mayor, I think you were at the table a few times where he'd throw a paper down and says, "I'm not paying this tonight." But I think, we won't get back there, but hopefully we'll find a happy medium that we can all be happy with, where we're not creating these late costs, as well as being able to keep the council involved. The council controls the checkbook, and I know a lot of these items are budget related, and unless we need to change an ordinance or something indicating that as long as it's budget related, that maybe we don't have to vote. I don't know. It's something for legal and us and finance to work on together. But it's just my thought. Thank you.
Any further comments?
Yeah, and I echo that. I do want to just add a little caveat to, and then I got a request as well. On these itemizations of the payments, well, let me do a request first, and then maybe pull it out of system. Can we get the total amount at the bottom somewhere of the itemizations? I see the itemizations, but I don't see the actual total on the amount. But when you look at these itemizations, I know COVID posts, many firms and also companies modify their standards, which require pay a lot quicker, or they'll put you on hold, if not allow you to purchase anything moving forward, especially with public sector. So 1 or 2 weeks can definitely get in the way of putting things on hold for us, especially when we meet every 2 weeks. So if I buy one thing on X day, they need their payment by next week, and we're not paying them by then they'll put us on hold, and then we can't buy certain things. But it is certain things on here, like contractual obligations from consultants that once they submit, they have they request a 30-day or 45-day pay clause. Maybe those can be added as something, and the other ones are retro. But I do want to, for the purpose of having a public dialogue, that is not as much as just paying and not letting the council, but some of them require immediate pay, or we're going to be on hold and not be able to get certain things for the city. So I want to just add some clarity to that piece, but I do agree with you, Councilman Smith.
Anybody else on council have a comment? As Councilor Smith noted, these are within budgeted operational budget, so nothing's being processed above and beyond what we've already approved, but hopefully we can find a happy medium going forward. I have a motion and a second. Did anyone from the public have anything to add to this? Seeing none, I have a motion and a second for payment of bills. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We can pay the bills, or maybe we already have. So. Resolution number 873726, Mr. Attorney.
Resolution number 873726, a resolution authorizing the Healthcare Authority of the City of Hoover to execute a First Amendment to lease agreement with HCR/RW, HWC1, and any and all documents necessary for the execution of said agreement.
Mr. President, I move that we approve Resolution 873726.
I have a motion and a second. Before we get to questions and comments, we have the chair of the Hoover Healthcare Authority, Alan Paquette, here to kind of give us the elevator rundown of the changes of the lease and why it was necessary.
Yeah,
So,
real
Alan?
quick. Thank you, Council. It's been exactly 2 years ago that the Healthcare Authority entered into this master lease with the developer of the South Tower at Riverwalk. When that lease was done, I would characterize it as complicated and confusing. It's one where I could read over it and look at my notes and go back and forth and kind of sort of follow it. But anytime a month would go by or a week would go by, I'd already forget that. You have to go back to the drawing board to understand it. And I read leases for a living. I don't write leases, but I read leases for a living. Usually they're a lot easier to follow. So the Healthcare Authority initiated kind of a redoing of this document with the developer. He agreed to work with us on it. Myself, Jennifer Cornett, Robert Yeager, Mindy Wyatt, literally sequestered ourselves and worked hours on this and submitted a lot of changes to the developer. They agreed with all but one of our changes that we ended up negotiating a little further on, and we ended up with what you have before you tonight, which is a cleaned up version that I think is very much in favor of the city and the Healthcare Authority. It certainly makes it easier to read and understand and to follow. And, you know, when people are in these positions years from now, when I'm long and gone or you're long and gone, they'll be able to pull this document out and follow it a whole lot more easily without having to find someone to give them the historicals to go with it.
Thank you. I appreciate the work that you and everyone did to clean up this lease. I understand, so one of the major benefits is it takes out the triple net lease arrangement.
Right.
Alan, for those that are in the schools, don't read leases every day, explain what a triple net is and why that was
Yeah,
important.
typically if you have a triple net lease, you're paying rent and you're paying operating costs, and that third part of the triple net is actually taxes, insurance combined. All that's out of this lease. Typically in the Birmingham market, if anyone is interested, we don't do triple net leases. You see them a lot in shopping centers and retail. That's more what it's designed for. So yeah, all that got cleaned up. This thing got down to where we're just talking about the commitments that were made in the development agreement, and all that other stuff was stripped out.
Very well. I'm sure there's some questions and comments from council. Who would like to go first?
I have a couple
Schultz.
comments. I want to thank Mr. Barnett and Mr. Paquette for indulging us over the last week where we battered them with questions, and they were very, very helpful in answering them, because I certainly don't read leases, and this was very complicated at times, but we literally spent hours on the phone with them and via email, and they did a tremendous job, so I want to thank them for that.
Appreciate it.
Questions or comments? What further?
Mr. President, Mr. Attorney.
I'm glad you addressed him.
Yes, yes. I'm going to save you for last.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got an appointment.
We spoke earlier today. What is the largest benefit that this amendment of this lease brings to the city? Is it the adjustment of the triple net?
That's correct. That's right. The president said it best. It's the removal of the triple net concept, the simplification that he was speaking of. That's probably the biggest benefit, if you can call it simple. This is, welcome to my world. This is the world I live in. This is a complicated set of documents. It's a web between the development agreement, the master lease, and the amendment. The amendment does clean up, some shortfall concepts that were tied to the developer. But to answer your question directly, it's the removal of the triple net concept. That's the benefit to the city is because those additional costs are additional rents. So, this does benefit the Healthcare Authority, but at the same time, this is an entity of the city, so at the same time, it does help the city. Now, it does provide some give and take to the developer as well, but this one.
Do you have any idea what those dollar values might be year to year?
Do we ever know what insurance costs are going to be? So,
Well, I don't know what we've paid in the last 2 years.
all right. So the insurance cost, there could be costs associated with repairs generally, just operating costs and so forth. Those kind of things are moving targets, and I personally don't have a clue what those could be. They're not identified in the document, but.
I can tell you this, just for, it's kind of a hypothetical, but typically in this market, those costs in a building like this would run $10 to $12 a square foot annually.
Okay, and the city right now, or the healthcare authority, supported by the city, is looking at all of the square footage in the structure, correct?
Correct.
Because the healthcare authority is the only tenant.
We're the master tenant for the South Tower. Yes,
Right.
sir.
And all other tenants will be subleases
That's correct.
of the healthcare authority.
Yes, sir.
So if they default, then it goes back to the healthcare authority, correct?
Now, I can't answer that question. That's more of a legal question. I don't know how that's structured. As of right now, there's only one subtenant. I think we're all aware of who that is, and I don't foresee them defaulting.
Well, I know the city is leasing the fourth floor. I think that's 30,000 square feet. I'm not sure how much use we're getting out of that yet or what's planned to go in there. I want to just run through a list of questions that I have. I didn't bring Chick-fil-A tonight like I have in previous years for everybody to lean back and get comfortable. But one concern that I had and why it couldn't been taken care of in this lease is the lease is with the HCA. It's not with the city, but there are parts of the documents that refer to the city as the obligator, to where we all know that the city has to stand up the healthcare authority and support it financially for all the agreements that the previous administration brought on to the city finances. I just don't understand why the city had to be brought in and named when the city is a sublessor of that one floor, and it's not a sublessor of the entire property. The HCA is the tenant for the entire property. That being said, all the medical tenants that are going to be going in there, they're going to be subleases. Currently, the city does not have a security deposit, correct?
Not to my knowledge.
And shouldn't have to pay one. Ms. Lopez, is your understanding the city has not paid a security deposit?
I do not know. I'm not aware of any of this. I'm not sure.
Okay, well, maybe you could check and send us an email later on. And I wanted to just get on the record that the landlord can negotiate leases out from under the HCA, who's supposed to have control of all the leases, and they can negotiate rates lesser than the base rate that the city is required to go by. And that is not going to affect the 93% goal that will eliminate the city's obligation for future funding.
Correct.
Very good. You say that in the microphone a little bit better?
Correct.
Thank you. In section 4.7, I spoke with both of you earlier today where it eliminated a paragraph where it talked about construction sales tax, lodging tax, retail sales tax, property tax development incentive. And my question is, does that mean that the city is no longer obligated to refund any of those taxes to the landlord?
No, sir. The tax incentives that were identified in the document that you refer to are a totally different set of incentives provided to the developer than the prepaid rents. So those are two different sets of incentives that both of them are required to be paid.
So these rents or these tax incentives would go away at whatever point that the subleases reaches 93%?
No, sir.
Well, I thought that was the prepaid rent.
No, sir. The way, to clarify the point is, they will stick around for the life of the development agreement. All right, so those tax incentives are henceforth until that development agreement's over. The prepaid rents could potentially go away at 93%, to the extent that that 93% is achieved. And so what was removed from the document, the original master lease, is the tying of this formula, if you will, this concept of shortfalls. And the shortfall concept and it's a convoluted formula saying that there's a base rent and there's a prepaid rent. And the shortfall is the difference between those two concepts, considering that the tenant ordinarily, before the amendment, would get a credit, an offset, if you will, from tenants, subtenants coming in, including the city. So they would get offset of their base rent requirement, which the base rent is higher than the prepaid rent incentive. So, you know, and I'm trying my best to simplify that concept, but it's a convoluted formula. That was removed, and it's made strictly a 93% threshold, and that's what he was speaking of a moment ago.
93% threshold, but what about all these other incentives? How long are they a 20-year agreement?
Yes, sir.
So it doesn't matter if it's 100%. The city's still obligated for upwards of 85% of some of these taxes are to be rebated to the landlord.
That's my opinion.
For 20 years.
That's my opinion, yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
I've got quite a few more, but I think our conversations this afternoon settled a lot of those. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Smith. Anybody else with council?
Council President, I have a question. That interesting, just hearing you say it, that triple net is normally used in shopping centers. Why was this chosen for this situation?
You're asking the wrong person. I didn't negotiate it. I
Okay.
don't know, honestly.
So that's a good question. Also,
Yeah.
who originally negotiated these terms for the city?
I actually don't know.
Does anyone?
I would just assume it was probably previous legal.
It was the previous legal team in the mayor's office.
Okay, cool. That's all the questions I have.
It's a good question.
Anyone else from council? Seeing none, anyone from the public have a question or comment?
Mr. President, I would like to say that even though I have questions, I know we all have to look at this as, is this better than what we had? And even though I have questions that yet are undetermined in my mind, I have to look at this, is this better than what we currently have? And my current thoughts is that it is.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Mr. Smith. This is not a vote on the reflection of the previous incentive agreement and so forth. This is just a vote of an amendment to the master lease. And as Councilor Smith said, is this a better master lease than what we had previously? And I would agree with you there. Seeing there's no more questions or comments, Madam Clerk, I'm going to ask for a roll call vote on this, please.
Councilmember Driver? Aye. Councilmember Schultz?
Aye.
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Lovell?
Aye.
Councilmember Murphy?
Aye.
Councilmember McClinton?
Aye.
Council President Middlebrooks?
Aye. With 7 ayes and 0 nays, it passes. Thank you. Thank you very much for everyone's work on this. Appreciate it. Now we will have a first reading for ordinance number 2687. Mr. Attorney.
Ordinance number 2687, an ordinance levying an additional $20 for each residential building permit issued in the city of Hoover to fund the Central Alabama Home Building Academy.
Very well. Normally, we're not going to take any action on this matter tonight. It will require a second reading. Normally, we only do a first reading, but we thought it prudent to have another elevator speech on exactly what this entails. to get the message out there. If other home builders or members of the public want to come back in 2 weeks, we will have a second reading and a possible vote. With that, I'm going to invite members of the Central Alabama Home Buildings Authority. Mr. Nick, if you want to give us an elevator speech on what this is. And then we'll also hear from Representative Shaw, who passed the state legislation giving the authority to come before us and ask for this. So, Nick.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for having us tonight. So a quick background of where we are. So we started an academy in North Alabama called NAHA, and that's where this kind of originated from. And then we went and toured this thing up in Huntsville and said, wow, this is amazing. This is fantastic. We should have one of these in Birmingham. We contacted Mike Shaw, figured out a way to get a state law passed to allow us to do this. NAHA is on a local bill. We passed the statewide bill, so any city or municipality in the country or in the state of Alabama can do this. So what the program is, it's designed for residential home construction. So on the commercial side, they have the Go Build craft academies and the Go Build funds where they get a percentage of their permits to go fund that kind of stuff for the Bratzels and Gories and the Horrors of the world. We are a bunch of small businesses of home builders that don't have anything like that or don't have these big corporations behind us. So we passed this. So it's $20 for a residential permit. So, and it's paid for by the builder and the trade. So if a trade comes in and pulls a permit, or if the home builder comes and pulls a permit, we're basically trying to fund the academies for ourselves so we can train our next generation of employees. That's really the main goal of it, is to train the next generation of employees. For every 7 plumbers that retire, 1 returns. So we have a large labor shortage in the residential construction industry. What that means for everyday citizens and Hoover residents is if you have a plumbing call and you have to get your water heater swapped out, today that could run you $1,600, $1,800. In the future, that could be $2,500 if there's nobody there to do it. And so this is the small part that we're doing to try to help offset some of that cost and train the next generation of workforce. And this is also meant for 17 and up, so this is not meant for anybody younger than that. You do have to be eligible as a citizen to be a part of this program. They'll have to pass a valid drug test, and the whole program will be free to any applicant. We've had about NAHA success. They've had about 600 people that have graduated so far, and they've had about a 95% placement rate in that, and then over 12-month trailing, they're at 85%. So they are single-handedly changing the residential contractors in Huntsville, Alabama, and we want to do that here in the Birmingham market.
Very well, thank you. Before we have questions for him, why don't we hear from Representative Shaw?
Thank you for the recognition, Mr. President. This is, we all know housing affordability and overall expenses are important. $20 fee is hurting us all with how expensive things are getting. $20 fee is not my favorite thing in the world. You know, as those of you that served with me on the city council. However, you know what's even worse is paying like $600 for a faucet and higher. And we all know these master craftsmen are leaving they're retiring, and we're not replacing them. And so when I heard about the success that they had up in Huntsville, we put it together as a Jefferson County bill. But those of you who know Jefferson County know that can be challenging sometimes to pass things. And at the end of the day, it really needed to be statewide. So me and Andy Witt, another representative, got together and we enabled this statewide. And I didn't know, I think Hoover's the first one to consider it, right? Yep. Yeah, so so I was really excited to see that Hoover's taken the lead on this. I've heard that it's I know it's voting next week, but I've heard people are generally favorable towards it. So I thank you, Mayor, thank you, Council, for considering this and being the first one in the state to look forward to putting this together. Hopefully it can get hit the ground running, and we can get some good skilled craftsmen out there, tradesmen that are going to lower our prices and do great work. So that's the kind of genesis of it. But thank y'all so much for it. Was really good to hear that. Hey, my home city is going to be the first one considering the statewide law, and I can take it back to my colleagues down in Montgomery and go, you know, I got a better district than you do. That's always fun. So anyway, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mayor, for considering this.
Thank you,
Mr. Shaw. My question was going to be to you, since Hoover's going to be the first one, would it be called
Gene, Mr. Smith, Councilor, I think they'll call it whatever you just lead the way on that, Councilor. So.
Mike, as you can see, we're a little more loose now since you've left us.
Well, he doesn't have that pressure on him anymore. You know, now that's on you. So you're handling it well, Mr. President.
Any other questions for Representative Shaw or the Home Bill or Nick?
Just more sort of statement, Mr. President, and then not just for saturating the market for building of new homes, but maintenance of older homes. The average cost typically for plumbing call out, no work being performed, can be from $50 to $150. HVAC, last time I checked, was anywhere between $75 to $200 just a call out. And I don't know if many of you folks have called HVAC folks just to come and change out a breaker. And they gonna shake your hand, ask for that same check. So not having a saturated market is hurting the job market. So thank y'all for bringing this to us, because it's going to save ultimately in the long run for the county and also City of Hoover and other cities.
Exciting. Thank you.
And not just save us money, but hopefully provide a steady revenue and income for that person that.
Yeah, I think the value in this, if I could say, the value in this for our young people people might get through and all of a sudden they realize, hey, I need to do something different. And this provides a lot of opportunity for good incomes that are going to be out there in our communities doing good work. So it's a win-win-win-win for everybody. So.
Yes, Mr. President, just a couple of comments. One, I want to say thank you so much for bringing us this opportunity, Representative Shaw and the representatives from the Home Builders Association. I know this is for Central Alabama, but I sure would like to see it located in Hoover, if that's an opportunity. So I know that you're considering multiple locations, so please do strongly consider placing this in Hoover.
We are looking hard at Hoover as a preference. It fits the corridor. We like the I-65 corridor from Homewood to about here. I mean, that way you can get 459, 65. The trades live outside of the city, so we want a central location, and Hoover is it. Finding a building is the problem.
We're working, we got a lot of stuff working. Jonathan Belcher was just talking to me about some opportunities he might have too, so.
Fantastic. Well, we appreciate.
We'd love
you
to be in
considering
Hoover
that.
too.
Well, thank you. And then I just also want to say, my dad was a 17-year-old who needed to find a profession and found his way into becoming an electrician and was a master electrician in the residential business. And he's one of those guys who's about to retire, and there aren't a lot of people to replace him. So I have a real heart for what you're doing for both young people coming up or people who want to change careers, and just really lifting up honorable professions that people can really live the American dream and make whatever out of their life they want to. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Schultz?
Mr. President, since this is a historic type ordinance and Mr. Shaw is here, do you think we can get a picture with members there in the council?
Well, we certainly can get a picture, but it hasn't passed yet.
I was going to say, you want to,
but I don't.
I can come back.
Are you coming back?
He'll come back.
I know where he lives. He lives in Hoover. So.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you're good.
He'll come back. Any further comments from council? Seeing none. Gentlemen, we'll see y'all in 2 weeks.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you, council. Thank you, Mr. President.
That comes to the end of the agenda. I'll open it up now for council comments. Anybody want to add anything?
Mr. President, I'd like to add something. And Madam Clerk, if you could put it in the meeting minutes for me. First, I want to thank our city attorneys, especially Scott. I had about 10 questions that I asked him this morning, and he got them back to me in literally 2 hours. So I appreciate that. 3 hours? Yeah. But I appreciate that, and I appreciate the mayor as well negotiating this and creating a much better situation than what we were dealing with prior. I just want to say I look forward to getting to the point where we're doing great things and not cleaning up prior messes from the previous administration. So I'm excited to begin doing that.
Thank you. Any further comments, council? Mr. Mayor, do you have anything?
Would like to say that we had our first State of the City last week, and had I thought a great crowd and a lot of very positive comments talking about the vision that all of us have. So looking forward to next year and see where we are next January. So thank you, guys.
It was a nice venue change out at Ross Bridge. It was great. You did a great job. Look, public speaking is not a gift that all of us have, but you did great. So with that, we are adjourned.